let's jump into the data. Now, Dawn, you mentioned data insights, and I love that because that's one of our topics. When you are in Resora, okay, or other email platforms, there's different things you can see. You can see who clicked on what they opened, who opened the emails, who unsubscribed, this or that. So how do you use this to go ahead and prospect or get sellers or buyers?
So Hampton Trail would be a good example of that. I had a list of one of our private golf club. I had their membership list. And I don't think that I was supposed to, but I added all of those contact and all that contact information into my database. And one of the listing that I have right now, which I would love for someone to bring a buyer, Hampton Trail, listed at 10,500,000. That came 100% from Resora. So once I had those names collected and sent out emails, I could see that the owner of that listing kept clicking and kept opening my email. So I just emailed her directly and just said, hey, I noticed that, you opened my email. I would, love to connect with you. Is there any way I can help you? Not even knowing the value of their home. And then she said, yes, actually, we're just getting ready to list with Christie's, but we would love to talk to you. And so I was able to secure that appointment and get that listing. So I would say, of course, first quarter is a little bit slower, but pretty much at least once a month between the two emails, I get at least one lead, either a new buyer that's been in my database or someone getting ready to list. So I think it's just so important to stay in front of them.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to actually show, that the network here, something that we did here in Rhode Island to sell one of our listings, and we used the insights to actually procure a buyer. Now, this house was not selling. I mean, it was sitting. So what we did was we started the subject line of 3% co-broke. Okay. And not a lot of listings in Rhode Island have a 3% co-broke. A lot of them here are 2%, whatever. Okay. So we started it with that. And then we saw who opened the emails, who engaged with the emails, who looked at the emails, who clicked view property, who clicked book your showings and didn't go through. And we did a personal outreach to all of the agents, because this went to all the agents in Rhode Island that are actively selling in surrounding Massachusetts and Connecticut. We contacted them and we sold this listing that was sitting and that was dead. Okay. So we then showed our client the results from this, and our client was absolutely floored. He was thrilled at this. So that's another way too. So good stuff, Dawn. Thank you so much for your background in that. And we wanted to share that one too. Good stuff. Lisa, do you use the insights at all? Lisa Stone Del Rey, do you use the insights at all to, see who's looking at your stuff, see who to make personal outreach to? And if so, what do those conversations look like?
I have multiple, I don't know if everybody knows this, but you could break out your lists by, whatever you want. So for example, I have buyers, I have sellers, I have clients. Like Dawn, I have a list of condo buildings that I was able to obtain a list of emails. So I pretty much do the same thing where I'll send out a specific email to those lists, and then I call, and that's what I actually have been doing the last few weeks, is just calling, say, to people that I've maybe sold properties to. I'm now calling them, seeing if they are interested in maybe listing, because the market's opening up and there might be other opportunities to maybe scale up. And it's very helpful. You do see the people clicking on, and it's actually kind of fun to watch it. You don't want to waste too much time, but it's kind of fun to see the people that, are clicking 50 times on the same email in a matter of a half an hour. I don't know what they're doing with their time, but, but it's great. It's a great source. So I use it for cold calling, not cold calling, but following up and just reaching out.
Yeah, absolutely. I love when I see somebody clicking on a specific property or on like, what's my home worth, but they didn't
Mhm.
fill out the form completely or they didn't reach out. I will send them something in the mail, snail mail. So I'll send them the E&B card with my business card in it, and just say, hey, it's Emilio. I'm reaching out because the inventory is low in your neighborhood. Here's a quick recap of what's happening. Give me a call if you're interested in the next 12 months or so to look at selling your home. I wax seal that thing, boom, send it out. It gets opens, it gets calls. People do that. So kind of get them from different ways,
Mhm.
put something in their hand, and at the very least, they've got your business card in your hands. Good stuff. Thank you, Lisa. Robert Rogers. Okay, so Robert, man, with your background in technology, all things technology, right?
Yeah.
How are you using these insights? Really curious.
It's snooping, but I mean, I'm such an analyst. That's what I live for is that kind of data stuff. I used to curate. One of the things that I adjusted what I put out was I used to spend a lot of time curating content for some of these newsletters and like architectural things, how to do it yourself project. Nobody clicks on those in this market. Nobody. So that was a time sink that I don't spend anymore, and they want to see inside their neighbors' homes. That's the number one thing they click on. So it adjusted what I send out and how much time I spend. I noticed that Don, I think you had some of those, neat, home tip things. Nobody clicks on that here, like zero. And so I just use it to, how do I change my what I put out. And of course I do snoop at, who's looking at it. And then they get a call and an email or a lunch or an invitation to come in and do a listing presentation.
Wow, that's great. And, one thing that I'm hearing from all of our panelists is basically just reading in between the lines, knowing who you're sending your content to, right? Because a luxury home seller or a luxury home buyer is not going to want to see first-time home buyer advice.
Right.
And same thing, vice versa, right? A first-time home buyer is not going to want to see, how to sell your $1 million mansion or multi-million-dollar mansion. It's important. And one of the things that I would strongly urge anybody on this video, on this Zoom conference is never just send blanket like Happy New Year's, happy whatever it is, happy 4th of July, whatever, without content under it that serves the viewer. Because again, and people say, well, it gets your name in front of them. Yeah, it gets your name in front of them as spam.
Yep.
Right. And your open rates are going to plummet. They're going to hit the floor. So that's my suggestion there. Great stuff. Thank you, Robert.